Hello, Melissa Lemon here. I'm so glad you're watching. I was totally joking when I said I was only going to do 5 Daniel videos. So I just wanted to talk for a minute about Ezra's eagle and Daniel chapter 11, just for a quick minute, because I've had a few people ask me recently what I thought about all the election craziness that's going on this year, and I won't talk about politics with very many people because most people don't like to hear what I have to say. So, um, but I just thought I would share this really quickly with the third assassination attempt today. Um, yeah, so crazy stuff. But a friend asked me today what I thought of everything, and I said, well, have you heard of Ezra's eagle? And she's like, no, tell me about it. I want to hear about it. So I'm going to, from memory, say a little bit about Ezra's eagle. So I got this interpretation from Michael B. Rush. Ezra's eagle is a prophecy found in the book of 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is a book of scriptures that used to be between the Old Testament and the New Testaments, and they were taken out of the Bible in the late 1800s by the Church of England. And the book of 2nd Esdras has this prophecy, and Esdras is actually just Ezra, and it's the same Ezra that's in the Bible. So I believe this prophecy is very valid. So the Apocrypha was taken out of the Bible because it was said that it wasn't as valid as the rest of the Bible is, or there was more, I don't know, creative license taken or whatever with the stories in the Apocrypha. I don't necessarily believe that is true. In fact, this is total speculation, but I believe the Church of England took that, especially wanted this out of the Bible because it's basically a prophecy that America will be bigger than England someday. So, I can see why England might have an issue with that back in the late 1800s. But, so, yeah, it used to be a part of the Bible, and it hasn't been for a long time, but you can still go online and read it. You can find it online. So this is called the Apocrypha. I read the King James Version and the book of 2nd Esdras, and it's in chapters 11 and 12 is the prophecy and the interpretation of the prophecy. But I really like the interpretation of Michael B. Rush, and I will tell you why. He tells the story of how he kind of had a visionary experience of, I believe he was in the library one day reading this, and it just kind of hit him what this meant. But it's not just that. It's not just the fact that he had this visionary experience. It's not just the fact that it's a book of prophecy in the Bible, because I believe that the prophecies in the Bible come true. It's not just that. This prophecy gives so many details that, in my opinion, there's really no probable way that it's not true or that it's not going to come to pass, if that makes any sense. And Michael B. Rush talks about that. He talks about the statistical probability of its likelihood, and he talks about the details in the prophecy and you can go read it for yourself for sure, but basically it's a prophecy about the American presidents beginning with, I believe it's Herbert J Hoover, and I might be wrong, but anyway, in 1929, and then it goes down through, basically it doesn't take them one by one, but it gives enough specific detail that the beginning is Herbert J Hoover, I believe, and the end is basically Joe Biden. And then after that is when the eagle head comes in, and there are these quick succession of 4 kings, just like what happened to Nebuchadnezzar and in the first dream that Daniel sees in Daniel chapter 2. And it even says in 2nd Esdras that this prophecy goes along with the book of Daniel. And so it's so cool that Daniel talks about an eagle, he talks about feathers being plucked, and there's literally this other prophecy in the Apocrypha that kind of goes hand in hand with what Daniel saw and talked about. So that is the deal with Ezra's eagle. Daniel chapter 11, one of the reasons I didn't do a video about Daniel chapter 11 is because I like to call it a mess. It's I believe, a conglomeration of several different things, where the other chapters where there's a prophecy are pretty cut and dry. There's prophecy and there's an interpretation, and it is what it is, and it's fine. Chapter 11 of Daniel is more messy, and again, Michael B. Rush's book Daniel 11 does a really good job, I think, of talking about the different parts. But in the middle of that chapter, around verse, I don't remember, 14, 15, 16, it starts talking about those four end leaders of America, and gives, more specific detail. Daniel's dreams kind of get, he just gets more detail with each dream. So I'm going to take you to, I kind of redid my timeline a little bit. Oh, I guess it would help if I shared my screen with you, huh? So let me do that really quickly. Okay. So I kind of redid this so that you could see everything. So Daniel chapter 2, and then we went through Daniel 7 and Daniel 8, and then I added the Ezra's eagle prophecy right here, and then Daniel 11. And so we are right at the end of the prophecy in Ezra's eagle. We're toward the end. And then that will kind of begin this prophecy that starts in the middle of Daniel 11 with those last four leaders. And here is a look at the years again. So Nebuchadnezzar's time, and then the American Revolution, World Wars I and II, and then the beginning of the president, starting with Herbert J Hoover. And this, we are so close to the end of this prophecy, where the final president talked about in the vision is about to be like, or I shouldn't even say the final president. It's, I don't know. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. But I will mention, I didn't talk about this in my earlier videos because I was just sticking with the visions themselves and my interpretation of the visions themselves. But Daniel chapter 8 actually has a really significant thing in it, and that is the word choler, C-H-O-L-E-R, and I would encourage you to look that up and go study it. But this word helps me understand that, the Rams were talking about World Wars I and II, and that ended with an atomic blast. And I believe the word choler is literally like the only word that Daniel had in his vocabulary to describe what he saw in the ending of the World Wars, in the World War II specifically. And that word choler comes up again in chapter 11. I don't remember exactly where it is in the chapter, but I just think that's interesting that the word choler comes up again in chapter 11, and that vision is talking kind of about the end, these last four leaders, which for us would be in the future, in the very near future, potentially. So, but again, chapter 11 is kind of messy, and honestly, I'm still kind of piecing it together and trying to figure out what everything means. But I just wanted to talk about those things. I'm going to look at the timeline for a second, but just, I don't know what else there was something else I wanted to say, but I'm struggling to remember what it was. Oh, so we're toward the end of this Ezra's eagle prophecy, which will be, it kind of coincides or like overlaps with the prophecy in Daniel 11. So, oh, and the goat. That's what else I want to talk about. The goat's horn being broken. Okay, so in Daniel chapter 8, there's also talk of the goat's horn being broken, which is, I talked about in that video about how that was like the end of POTUS. And so all these things just kind of go together. The vision of the ram and the goat, the goat's horn breaking, and that is symbolic, arose along with these, the eagle head coming in and taking over the last two little feathers, which is in the dream in 2nd Esdras, and I highly encourage you to go read that for yourself. And you could even look up Michael B. Rush and his interpretation. Maybe I'll include his YouTube page in the link of this video. anyway, they just all kind of go together. And, I've been studying this for a few years now, and I'm still studying it. And so, if you're sitting here this election season and being like, what on earth is going on? Like, I highly encourage you to study these things, because I'm not wondering what on earth is going on. I know exactly what's going on. So when my friend asked me, what do you think is happening this political season? Like, what do you think about everything that's going on right now? Or who do you think is going to win or whatever? I was like, well, maybe you should go read the Ezra's Eagle Vision. I don't think either of them are going to be the president. And I don't know that, and I don't know what's going to happen or what could possibly happen to make that a reality. There are probably a million scenarios, and I'm not going to spend my time speculating all those possible million scenarios. I'm just kind of here watching with a little more intel, I feel like, than most people have, because I've studied these things. And so I would highly encourage you to study these things. And I hope this video has made sense, because I'm just shooting from my hip tonight. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about anything I said, or would like more information or resources, please just let me know. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and stay safe. You're loved. Keep healing. You're great. Bye.